Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum. Again, my name is Sohair Umar, and Paul and I, we're here on behalf of Governor Pat Quinn. For those of you who do not know Paul, he is a nationwide education policy expert. He has headed up some of the toughest, some of the largest school districts in the country, including Bridgeport, Connecticut, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and of course, Chicago. He has even, that's right, he has even helped to improve the school systems in Haiti and Sudan. That speaks volumes of his character and compassion in this area. So without further ado, sisters and brothers, please join me in welcoming our candidate for Lieutenant Governor, Paul Vallas.
Thank you very much. Greetings, all of you. It's a pleasure to be here. I had an opportunity when I was superintendent of the Chicago Public Schools to establish a great relationship with all the great faith communities, because I've often said that our schools cannot be isolated in their own communities. And any time our schools can partner with the great faith-based institutions, those schools are going to thrive. And so I had the pleasure of interacting with the community and working with the community and supporting the community during my term as superintendent of the Chicago Public Schools. I also had the pleasure and the honor of strongly advocating in support of the religious rights of Muslims to open a mosque in my father-in-law's town of Palos Heights many years ago. You all remember that fight about 12 years ago. And that was before I was running for political office. So as a grandson of Greek American immigrants, I am living testimony of what the American dream is about. But I am also a product of a country whose great strength is its diversity, because we are a country of immigrants. We are a country where people have come here from all over the world, bringing their energy and their values and their commitment and their faith in not only their futures, but the future of their children. And diversity is our great strength, and our recognition of what all can contribute to this country that we call the United States of America is so critical. And we have to respect the diversity. It's America's great strength. It gives us our energy. It gives us our dynamism. It gives us our creativity. And so I'm here today to talk about that and to thank your community for the contributions that you are making. Not only the contributions that you're making to our community, but the contributions that you're making to your community by taking responsibility for your children. Because I often say that the most important contribution we can make to our community is to raise our children right, is to make sure that our children have a proper education, to make sure that our children grow up with a sense of values, to make sure that our children grow up with a sense of tolerance and appreciation of other people's rights, to make sure that our children show the respect to others that they want and are entitled to and demand of others. So that's what it's about. So, I don't think no community is going to say that they've outperformed or out-invested your community when it comes to investing and committing to the future of your children. So I just want to applaud you and congratulations for taking responsibility for that. I'm not going to talk about any other candidates here because this is the forum to do that, but I'm going to say that just as I have always felt, based on my background and my upbringing, I've always felt a connection with all the diverse communities because I'm so much a part of the melting pot, so to speak. But I'm fortunate in that I'm running with a candidate, with a governor, who also shares my values, or I should say I share his values. Someone who also has a record of accomplishment. When you look at what the governor has done, and the governor is just not about rhetoric. The governor is about action. We have always been action people. Actions speak louder than words, and Governor Quinn has always been a man of action, a person of action. His actions have always spoken louder than his words. He has always been a very modest man about what he's accomplished, and I believe that he has demonstrated his commitment to the community through his actions, through his creation of the Muslim American Advisory Council, the first public body of its kind in the nation. His appointment of a number of qualified Muslim Americans to numerous state boards and commissions and task forces and councils, including but not limited to the Council of Aging and the Language Access Task Force. Through his hosting of employment recruitment workshops with the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago in order to increase Muslim American participation in the workforce. Through his issuance of this cultural sensitivity guide to all state employees to make them sensitive to Islamic and respectful to Islamic practices. And in his support not only for the DREAM Act at the federal level, but through Illinois' enacting of its own version of the DREAM Act, so that the children of immigrants have access to higher education. I used to say when I ran the Chicago Public Schools, and people used to talk about immigrants, or are these children legally entitled to an education and things like that. When it comes to caring for the children, we have a responsibility. We educate the children first, and then we let other people worry about those questions, because the children, they are everyone's children. The community has a responsibility for the children, regardless of where the children are coming from. We have a responsibility to care for those and to help those who cannot care and cannot help themselves. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for the privilege of addressing you today. I look forward to immersing myself in the community once we're in public office. Since my departure from the Chicago Public Schools, as was pointed out, I've worked on some really troubled areas and some real challenging environments, having gone to Philadelphia after that district fiscally collapsed, and after Katrina, going to work 4 years of rebuilding the schools in Katrina, and of course after the earthquakes in Haiti and in Chile, going down there and working in those countries. In fact, I'm a reluctant flyer, and as somebody said, you can't get to Haiti by boat. You can't, believe me. So I quickly had to overcome I just did a lot of heavy praying before I got into the airplane. I'm a very reluctant flyer. But actually going there almost 50 times, because, at the end of the day, when our time here on earth is over, we all want to feel that we've contributed something, that we've made a contribution, that we've made a mark, that we've made a difference. And for me, public service has been the only thing that I have ever wanted to do. But again, I want to salute you all. God bless all of you. Good health to all of you. And I look forward to supporting and working with the community as you build a future for your children. Thank you so much.